All right, welcome. We're live. I'm so excited to be here with everyone. My name's EJ Colclaw, and we are discussing your abundance. This is the second day of Awaken Your Abundance, a free training program, how to unlock the secrets of universal law and create abundance in your life and understand success principles. Now, I'm so excited to be here because this is a pivotal moment, not only in my career, but in my abundance and our family's abundance. And if you're looking to make 2025 a year of abundance for yourself, then this is what I would highly suggest is to understand yourself and your abundance and make sure that 2025 is set up to create a tremendous difference in the way that you think and the way that you act and believe. If prosperity is within you or if it's without you, you're chasing it. It must come within. So that's what we're going to be discussing. Today's day 2, and if you missed day 1, there is a replay, and you can always go ahead and click on my link in order to join us in the Zoom, as well as have all of the extras, the homework, the PDFs, and everything else that comes along with it. So please do that if you'd like to enjoy some of the extras of this program. Now, what is abundance? Abundance is something that's going to prosper in your life in every way. Abundance is coming from not just what you're doing, but how you're behaving, how you're thinking, what is going on the inner story of your life. Now, if everybody had written down what we discussed in day 1, that was to write down 5 goals. 5 goals for you to understand exactly what you're going to need to do in order to begin allowing that abundance, allowing that prosperity into your life. Now, why would we write 5 goals, 5 wins down? We would write 5 wins down because that's bringing in the prosperity. It's noticing the abundance that's already currently in our life in order to change the narrative of what we believe in our life. Now, reconditioning yourself is imperative in order to have that abundance in your pattern of thinking. The thinking is where you're going to start to feel things. You're going to start to understand how things are working in your life by deciding what you think, not by only basing it upon what's on the outside. The outside has nothing to do with the way that you think if you're awakening to what you're able to do, your real prosperity, your capabilities in life. Real prosperity is going to come from within. It's not going to be based upon your current results, your current situations, your job, your income, your family life, your relationships. Real prosperity is all coming within. And if you're not feeling very prosperous right now, then it's going to be important that you change that pattern of thinking and allow it to become natural. Now, we create wins every single day, but we often don't notice them. We don't see them as part of our prosperity because maybe they're not very meaningful. Maybe they're just simply a smile from somebody else across the street or walking by you. A text from a friend saying, "Hey, how you doing? We should get together." These type of little things in your life go unnoticed because we feel they're trivial. We feel they're just part of life. But I want to let you in on a little clue. You're winning every day because you're here. We're in this prosperous world. This capability of understanding that is the only difference of being abundant all day long. Okay, that's perception. And if we find that the law of familiarity can prevent us from understanding the perception that we're already abundant, we're already prosperous. That prosperous version of ourselves is something that is very, very important. That prosperous version is going to cause us to see things in a new light. And if you change that pattern and let it become natural by noticing even trivial wins each day, then you're going to allow yourself to understand so much more and broadcast a signal of abundance. Abundance is your birthright. Okay. When you were born, you were abundant. Okay. You were abundant in cells. You were abundant in health. You were abundant with people around you who loved and cared and nursed and created the organization in order for you to grow. So everything ever since you were born is abundant. You were abundant whether our parents had great nutrition or not while we were in the womb. We were still abundant. We were abundant in nourishing not only from our mother, but the environment around our mother, and the voices and love, caring, from our fathers around that mother. And what you need to do is just understand, what do I want? What do I want? If we're not here for a purpose, then we're stuck. And I don't want to be stuck. I know nobody here wants to be stuck. If we're here for purposeful fulfillment, then we have direction. We have a goal. But right now, I want everybody to just take a deep breath and just close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath in and let it fill your cavities in your chest and just allow it to chill you for 1 second. What do you want more than anything? What do you want more than anything this coming year? Maybe you didn't get what you wanted in 2024. Maybe you didn't get what you wanted in 2023 or even since before the pandemic. It is possibly because you didn't identify it. Maybe you wanted a ton of things. But zeroing in is going to cause us to really allow what we want into our life. So what do you want? Envision it right now, personally. What do you want professionally? Really see it. What's the one most important thing in that? How about spiritually? What do you want? It's the desire that's going to fuel a change in your life. We're meant to desire. Now you can open your eyes, but I hope you labeled at least one thing that you want. Now, if you labeled 15 things, let's narrow it down to one. Let's narrow it down to just one thing. Right now, for this particular exercise, I want you to just think of that one thing. And I want you to understand how important it is to you. That one thing is going to be your goal. That's your goal. If you're not sure what you want in 2025, go back to the replay, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask, what do I want personally, professionally, or spiritually? And write it down. And if you're not sure which one's the most important, then give it a grading system. Say, hey, this one would change my life immediately. The one that's going to change your life immediately is going to lead to other goals being capable, okay? The capacity is going to be much larger if you continue to knock these dominoes down. Now, I'm not saying don't have a lot of goals. You should. I do. But when we focus in on one, then we're going to create a tremendous difference in our life through the focus, okay? Without direction, we don't have any focus. Without focus, we will not have any direction. So it's very important that we pinpoint what our goal is, because then it substantiates our direction and focus. Our real power is going to lie in that focus and direction. It's one thing to have a goal, but if you don't have direction and focus, then you're not going to have accomplishment of the goal. You won't achieve it. But you won't have focus and direction unless you have a desire, aka a goal. So it's very important that we have that goal. Then we can start to understand it, and we could start to make plans around it. We could start to live it in our vision. We could start to see it in our heart. And Source, infinite Source, will collaborate with you now that you're speaking the language of infinite Source. The language of infinite Source, God, universe, source, however you'd like to call it, the language of the universe is specific direction and specific continuous emotion. If your emotions are all over the map and you're thinking, well, I want this and then I want that, and oh man, that didn't work, and I hope to have this, and like you're just all over the map. I mean, imagine that if you were going in circles on a map. You're not going to get anywhere. My dad used to say, it's like running like a chicken with their head cut off. You know, and I don't want to offend anyone, but when a chicken's head gets cut off, they'll just kind of run around in circles, aimlessly. But we do that consciously. I would say actually unconsciously, but we're consciously running around in circles. Has anybody ever felt that way? You're running around in circles, getting nowhere. You've probably said it before. Somebody's probably told you it before, that you're not getting anywhere. And it's important to know where you want to go. So that's how you have to see it. But how do we focus? How do we focus on one thing when we've spent decades of time trying to figure out how to get by, just to make ends meet? We're constantly battling. Have you heard the phrase putting out fires? We've all been putting out fires at some point or another in our life. Now, I don't care if you are far along this journey of self-discovery, success, and creation, or if you're just beginning. All of us have to understand how to make a better version of ourselves. And we start with focus. Now, focus is something that you practice, okay? It's not something that just comes to you automatically. Say, hey, EJ said to focus, and now I know exactly what to do. Come on, let's get real. It takes a little bit of work, okay? It's a practice, just like our abundance foundation thinking that we spoke of yesterday. We have to practice our focus. And when you have focus, then you're going to become disciplined. Discipline's going to lead you into fruition of your goal happening. Things are going to click. Things are just going to happen a little bit more effortlessly. Infinite intelligence says, I know what they want. Now I can provide. Now, infinite intelligence also provides detrimental situations for your life. And it's because you've been focused on the wrong thing. You've been focused on the fear, doubt, scarcity. That's going to cause more of it to come into your life in beautiful, surprising ways. See, the universe source is going to provide what you agree with, what you harness in your heart. And you might say, EJ, that's not fair. I've been thinking, I've been praying, I've been doing everything I can in order to change. As we said yesterday, it's not all of your actions and your thoughts, it's your behaviors and what you're believing in, what you're vibrating within. So it's not the job or the house or the relationship or your boss or your business or your schooling or your past. We've all been hurt in our past. All of us. But it's the now, it's the present, it's the version of you that needs to change right now. You're different than you were 60 days ago. You're different than you were 10 years ago or 30, 40, 50 years ago. You are. I mean, just look at your body. You're different. Your cells all regenerated since then. So you're a different person, but you've been carrying this dead weight story of regret, fear, doubt, and a history of remorse alongside with you. Like, imagine that ball and chain's been just, being dragged around with you. No wonder you haven't been able to swim to the surface. No wonder you haven't been able to soar with the birds or get to the highest cliff or shoot to the moon or beyond. You're weighed down with regret and remorse and the story of difficulty. So we need to start focusing on a different story, a practice every single day of abundance. Now, here's 6 habit-forming power moves to be able to create this new focus and discipline in your life. First, we create time to do so. You must carve out time. Oh, but EJ, I don't have the time. You don't know. I know. We all have 24 hours in the day. I know for a fact I have to force a time that I'm going to visualize. I have to force and create into my schedule. I'm not a big fan of force, but create a time that I have to meditate. These things have to be carved out. I have to prioritize them. Then you have to understand the action of the association method. Okay? This will help you. It will change your life. This one thing can change your life. The action association method is when you're doing something else that you have always been doing habitually, such as eating, brushing your teeth, going to work, your bedtime routine, whatever it is, you associate this new habit that you want to form, whether it's focus, discipline, affirmations, whatever it is, reading, writing, you associate it with that time. So that action causes you to actually, sorry, let me turn that off there. That's terrible. That action causes you to create a new version of what you want in your life, because you're utilizing the time that you've already used for something else and it's now associated. Now, the other way to create a new version is by object association method. The object association method is what will cause you to say, hey, every time I touch this, I'm going to create a better version of myself by also reciting an affirmation. I am abundant. I am wealthy. I am healthy. I am gratitude. I am love. So the object association method, that could be a ring. That could be putting on your glasses. Every time I put on a coat, I say, I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am filled with love and joy. I am loved. I am grateful. Or it could be when you're doing that, you say, I'm going to spend 30 seconds right now just focusing in on one thing. It could be your breath. You're breathing. You close your eyes and I'm just listening to my breath in and out. I'm focusing in on a pinpoint on the wall. One of my great mentors taught me that. Focus in on one pinpoint, one dot on the wall for as long as you can. And then as soon as you lose focus, zero back in. And do this daily. Focus is going to change your life. Now, you could use the action association method or the object association method every time you get in your car, every time you open the door, every time you touch your keys, every time you answer the phone. Say, I am calm, wealthy, and relaxed. Whatever it is. Now, that could work for anything. It's not just for affirmations. Absolutely anything. Now, you also can eliminate distractions. You got to eliminate distractions. If there's something that's happening in your life and it's not leading you to where you want to go, just say no. I'm not going to do that. And that combines into saying yes only if it leads to your goal. If you see it's a way to get to your goal, then say yes to it. Say no with power, say yes with power and intention. It will change everything. And finally, take breaks. Okay? We are not meant to be workaholics. I love working. I love helping people. I love creating. But we are also meant to rest. We are meant to enjoy the passing periods of time. And if you have nothing to do, that's incredible. But it shouldn't be every day. But you should have mini breaks. Like yesterday, I set a timer 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I was forced to take a break. I said, I'm going to get up. And it's not I was forced to, I got to. It was a joy. It was a gift to me. 20 minutes of focus, 5 minutes of relaxation. And it's up to you how you want to use it. It doesn't matter. But why are we building this focus? Why are we building the direction? Why is it so important? It's so important because you're creating a new blueprint. We have a paradigm of our past beliefs, behaviors, actions, and the story, that ball and weight that we've been, or that chain, ball and chain that we've been carrying around, that anchor that's been dragging us down, preventing us from just getting to the top or beyond. It's a paradigm. It's a multitude of habits stored in your subconscious mind that's creating all thoughts, behaviors, and results in your life. Outside world changes, cool, no problem. Your inside world didn't change. Your paradigm's the same. Expect to get more of the same. Relationship change, no problem. Expect to get more of the same. You have to change the paradigm, the programming within. The software has to be updated in order for you to make a major change. And until you do that, nothing changes. So you consciously have to put in the work to redesign that pattern of thinking, that software. Now, ultimately, we have to understand the mind. And the difficulty with understanding the mind is we don't have a picture of it. A lot of people think the brain is a mind. No, the brain's a tool. That's what we spoke of yesterday. The brain is no different than the pen and the shovel, except the brain can give you feedback. And that's what makes it your best alliance or your worst nightmare. So we have a mind, okay? A mind is like a circle. A circle that has both our conscious and our subconscious parts to it. Now, put a line right in the middle of that circle. At the top, you have your conscious mind. At the bottom, you have your subconscious mind. And below that, you have your body. Okay. Now, mind is in every cell of every bit of your body. Okay. So your mind is not up here. Okay. We're not talking about the brain, but if we don't have a picture of the mind, then we don't understand what we need to do in order to redesign the paradigm. Now, personally, I believe that every molecule has a mind, not just ours, but the air we breathe. Everything. This microphone, it's made of particles that have a mind as well. Now, this is just my own personal belief. I believe that science is also going to prove it. It has in some form or fashion through electrons, but that's another conversation. Now, we have the body, and the mind controls the body. But right now, the body's not giving us the results that we want. There's always a bigger awareness. You can grow further. So, in order to change our results, we change our habitual thinking in our conscious mind. In order to change our thinking, we have to be willing to put in the work. We have to be willing to use some of those power moves I spoke of earlier to change the habit of our thinking consciously. Now, the consistent thinking in our conscious mind will then begin to change our subconscious habitual thinking. And our conscious habitual thinking, our subconscious habitual thinking is what's driving all of our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. So you have to be willing to put in the work consciously to impress into the subconscious mind in order to make a change. The subconscious thoughts will begin to create new feelings and feedback to reinforce your desired results. And that reinforcement is what's going to start a perpetual momentum of change in our life, a new paradigm of thinking. As of yesterday, I spoke of the deep canyon of your thinking and how you may be stuck in that canyon, how you may not know how to get out of that canyon. This is the picture for you. The subconscious mind is what's going to be the emotional mind. The emotional mind is going to control the habits, the behaviors, the actions of the body. Now, when we start to impress the subconscious mind with a new way of thinking, and it starts to reinforce our conscious mind in that momentum of, hey, I'm doing better. I'm getting better. I know that I'm going to win. Then it's starting to create a new wheel, a perpetual motion of abundance in your life. And it will cause your body to start creating more results. It's going to create actions that will lead to the results that you desire. And it's momentum. Now, momentum is very important in our life. And when you allow that momentum to build on more of what you desire, then that desire gets bigger. You'll start thinking bigger than you ever thought before, which will then go into your subconscious and reinforce the subconscious. The reinforcement of the subconscious is going to reinforce the conscious mind, then driving the body into different actions, causing different results. It's going to cause you to win goals over and over and over again. So I'm giving you a model of the mind that will allow you to change everything in your world. And if you impress in that subconscious mind, then you're going to create a new abundant thought process. And it's going to create that momentum that that wheel that never ends. But right now, you might say, my wheel is broken. My wheel is not even on the axis. Or my wheel stopped. It is weighed down with all these bills, all these problems, all the difficulties of the people around me that they continue to pour in like I'm a sponge for it. It's only going to change if you put in the conscious attention to start to think differently. And when's the best time to start anything? Yesterday. So today, say, I'm going to make this change. I'm going to start to impress with my conscious thought even a little bit each day. Every time I open a doorknob, I'm going to say, I am abundant. I am blessed. I am worthy. Every time you brush your teeth, say, I am prosperous. I am graceful. I am loved. I am beautiful. Every time you wake up, waking up can be an action. Grab that pen and paper. Right? I am prosperity. I am abundant. I am opulence. Start to help your conscious mind implant the seeds into the subconscious mind in order to get through that brick wall that was formed, as we said yesterday in day one. And if you didn't see day one, you're going to want to register with my LinkedIn, and you will be emailed day one's replay as well as the homework assignment and many other bonuses, and be welcome into our live Q&A coming up. Now, if you allow these new patterns of habits in your life, you're going to start to just essentially edge through and break through that solid wall that's been built up for decades, ever since you were a child, that locked in the version of you in your subconscious mind. And when you edge through that, it's going to start to create a new pattern. It's going to start to allow you to have this abundant thinking in your mind, and the subconscious thoughts are going to start to put that wheel back together. And then it's going to start to turn it. The more that you do this type of thinking in your conscious mind, the more that your subconscious mind is going to say, oh, EJ now thinks that he's this. He's very proud of himself. He's very capable of himself. He's very confident. He's very able. Then it starts to treat you differently. It starts to give you different feedback. The shovel doesn't give you much feedback. The pen doesn't give you much feedback. But the mind is constantly giving you feedback, and it was trained by people that were consciously designed by other people that didn't know how to design themselves. Actually, I'm sorry. They were designed unconsciously by other people that didn't know how to design themselves. Okay? So the difficulty with our design is that we have to be willing to do something about it. We have to be willing to come from that subconscious abundance, and it's going to make up our results, and it's going to create joyful and effortless feeling. And it's going to cause us to bring that momentum in our life and have fun overcoming the challenges that appear. A lot of people go, when they find that there's more work to do. I find that I get excited about challenges because I know they're going to cause me to grow. If you didn't have a challenge in your life, you wouldn't be walking. You had a challenge when you were a baby crawling on the floor, bumping your head, realizing, hey, I want to do what they do. I want to walk. I want to do what these other people around me are doing. And they're none of them are crawling on the floor. They're picking me up. They're tall. I want to do that. You didn't think it, but that's what your unconscious mind said. There's a challenge here. Let's tackle it. You're a solving problem machine. But the way that you perceive these problems is going to be your problem or your grace. So see these problems as joyful challenges that you can utilize to create new solutions. Think outside of the box and create a new version of yourself. Now, without utilizing these pillars that I've been speaking of, nothing's going to change. So let's review them. These pillars are a goal. Without a goal, you're not going to have anything in your life. You're not going to have any type of desire, any type of fulfillment in your life. And we must focus. Our focus is going to cause us to have direction in that goal. It's going to cause us to have new ways of thinking because we're zeroed in on what we need to do to accomplish the goal. That direction is now fed by the focus. If you don't have direction, then you don't have a goal for sure. You don't have any type of focus. You have to allow that direction to feed these first two pillars. Now, fourthly, we must have a new way of thought. We must have a new foundation of thought. We must lay down the sand so the earth is level, so then we can build beautiful concrete pillars to hold up masses, a skyscraper of accomplishment on our shoulders, okay? Now, if we have that foundation of a new pattern of thought, feeling, behaviors, then we're going to achieve the number one thing, the goal. And we achieve it through number 5, action. We create the action that causes us to receive the results. It's another perpetual cycle of momentum. Get a goal. Create the focus around it. You will receive the direction effortlessly because of having the goal and the focus. And then fourthly, you will have the thought that is foundational to achieving that. And finally, you will take action. With those 5 things, you will accomplish great tasks. You will create more than you ever thought. But we first really need to understand that thought. Do you think you're even worth it? Have you been walking around aimlessly in life thinking, oh, pity me, I'm a victim. Everything behind me has caused me to be this way. You're going to have to start a new idea there. You're going to have to start a new focus. I know that feeling because I've had it before, but I quickly shake it off. But many others can't just shake it off. And I'll get to why it's difficult to shake it off here in a bit. But you have to say, am I valuable? Am I worth it? Am I willing to make some sort of a change? Now, let me tell you a bit about a story. If you really want the change, then you're going to have to want it as much as you want to literally live. Okay? If you want real results, then we're going to have to understand this story about Socrates. Okay? A young man came to Socrates and said, hey, I want to create and be just as incredible as you are. So Socrates said, listen, meet me at the river at dawn, and I will help you. And so the next morning, Socrates leads the man to the river and goes to the water, and he asks him, what does he want? And the gentleman says to Socrates, I want to truly have wisdom. I want to be as clever as you. I want to understand just as well as you do. I want to lead. And he puts him under the water, full head underwater. He couldn't breathe. He pulls the man up, struggling for air, and he says, "What do you truly want?" Dunks him again. And he pushes him under the water. He can't breathe again. Now, when he comes back up, he says, "What do you truly want?" And the young man says, "I just want to breathe. I want to breathe." And he says to him, "If you want what you desire as much as you want to breathe, then you will create it." So the understanding of this story, the moral to it, is that you're going to come up against hurdles, but you're going to have to want it more than anything. That way you're going to break through walls. And if you want it as badly as you want to live and breathe, then you're going to break through walls that you didn't even see coming. And as that momentum starts to kick in, you're going to leap over them and say, "I didn't even realize there was a wall there." It's because you have built a new mechanism, a new foundation, a new problem-solving capability in your life to create a better version of you. Now, we all need a little bit of direction. I'll tell you, when I first started with this, I had a big, difficult time. I didn't know if anything was going to work. I just believed that there was a better way. I just didn't know how to do it. So I moved forward for almost a decade, aimlessly in the dark, bouncing from this direction and that shiny object, hoping that it was everything else outside of me that would need to be changed in order for everything to change in my world. And I realized that I needed specific guided direction and focus. And I went to my mentor in order to receive that. And if you're looking to make a massive change, you have to have a second set of eyes. You can't just think, "I know it all. I know what to do. I'm just going to follow." And what I did was I just read some books. I didn't even get through all of them. And I would listen to YouTube and jump from one mentor to another, maybe did a self-guided course and only partially did it. I didn't have the focused direction, and I didn't have a mentor to be able to guide me in the way that I should be going and find blind spots in my life. So I decided to get a mentor and finally break free from the pack. And it wasn't in my peers. You want to get a mentor that's able to work with you, that understands only where you want to be, not where you've been. I don't really care where you've been. I know that I can help you break through. And if it's not me, it's got to be someone else. You have to have somebody in your life that has the results that you're looking for, that has the history of understanding and utilization of those results in order to get you to take the action, change the behaviors, and incorporate the thoughts and patterns that will break free of your past thinking and cause you results that you've really been wanting. God willing, you get involved with somebody. That's why you're here watching this right now. You say, there's something to this. I just don't know what it is. But you have to free yourself from the pack. If you're the smartest person in your group, then you're doing something wrong. You need to get another group. You need to be willing to get outside of your group, outside of your peers, outside of the same old water cooler circle that's talking about the same old stuff. Start to be around people that can really lift you up. That's what's going to change your life. And if you're not in a group of people that's going to lift you up, then there's no reason to be watching any of this. This may be a beginning to your change, but take a stand right now. Get on a call with myself or one of my coworkers in order to understand what you could do to make a massive difference. Because a couple of days and a Q&A is not going to make a massive difference in your life. It's only the beginning. You're going to need to take proven processes and steps that will lead you to a different way of thinking, that will cause a different behavior pattern, that will cause the momentum to start turning in your favor and create the results that you're looking for. Now, all of your results, everything that you've been wanting is possible. But if you don't take those capabilities in your life seriously, then you're going to end up in 2026 the same place you were in 2024. Jim Rohn, one of my favorite mentors, had said once in a crowd of some executives in a room, he said, "Gentlemen, I know exactly what is going to happen next year." And they all leaned in. What's going to happen? He knows. They all hushed, quiet down, and listened. He said, "I know what will happen next year. It'll be just about the same as last year. Unless you change." The only way we change our results is because we change. The things that happen in the world are perpetual, essentially. There's a circle, a hero's journey, if you're familiar with that, where you go through some strife, you decide to make a change, you open yourself and surrender to a teacher, a way, a source that's able to help teach you exactly how to make a change. You face a great difficulty and overcome it. And then there's a good celebration. But something happens again that causes you a bit of stagnation. You overcome a bit of that strife. You understand it. And then you surrender and are willing to grow again. And you continue around this circle of momentum. Momentum, stagnation, momentum, stagnation. If you're feeling like you aren't where you want to be, then you have to be willing to make a great change. You have to be willing to do something different. And 5 years ago, I got on a call with a coach and just spilled my guts and said these things, that things. I was terribly honest. And the coach said, "Well, you probably need to work on yourself." And I was offended. I thought I was going to be able to just, reach out and create whatever I wanted. But the coach said, you need to work on yourself. You need to, build a new foundation. And that wasn't the answer I wanted. I thought I already built a good foundation. But your foundation is going to happen because of the fact that you're willing to connect with people that already have those results and can guide you through the way. So, I want to thank you for joining us here at Mindshift Coaching Co. and understanding more about what it takes to redesign the subconscious mind and use universal law and success principles to create the results that you're looking for in your life. But this is just an introduction. And if you'd like to join our Q&A live, then go to our LinkedIn here or our bio to find the registration that's free to join the Awaken Your Abundance Zooms. That way, you will get notification to actually get on live and ask questions about what you're struggling with, what you need to do, and how you can create the results in your life. And those Q&As are incredible because you're finally getting an opportunity to get some one-on-one time with somebody that's been there. And trust me, I've been through all of it. I've had the ups and downs, and I know where to go from here. And I know exactly where you will be in your hero's journey and how we can get you to tremendous achievement. But it's going to take guts. It's going to take someone that's willing to be vulnerable and get on a call and say, "Hey, I'm struggling with this. And this is where I want to be. Where's the bridge to go over that gap? How do I fulfill that bridge in my results, in my business, in my personal life, in my professional life, my spiritual life? What do I need to do in order to get there?" And everybody's at a different point in their life. That's the great thing about coaching. Get together with somebody that has been there before in order to help you get across that bridge. Now, the bridge already exists, believe it or not. It's just that you can't see it. And that's because your perception. That's because the foundation of thought that you believe. In order to have what you want, you'll have to change who you are, not what's around you alone. Now, one thing that you can change immediately around you is get in connection with somebody that's been there before. So go on to ejcolclaw.com, ejcolclough.com, and book a strategy session or book to go into the Awaken Your Abundance Q&A. That Q&A I'm going to hold on next Monday. And it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's noon Mountain Standard Time, where I'm at here in Colorado. And I want you to get on there and be prepared with a question or two. And be willing to understand that your vulnerability of real honest questions there is not going to help you, but it's also going to help everybody in the Q&A, and it'll change everything. But also get involved with a coach. Get on a line. I hope it's a line with me or one of my coworkers. Our team will help you to create a tremendous difference in your life and have a simple coaching call. It's fun. It's easy. You might think it's nerve-wracking. It's not. We're all just people here. And that simple coaching call is going to cause you to create a new momentum, that first rung on the ladder to create the success that you want, not in just 2025, but beyond. Break free of the mediocrity and the strife and the doubt and the fear, and trust yourself and move forward. Is it difficult? The path? No. There will be difficulties. The difficulty is breaking the habit of doing the same thing that you've always been doing. The difficulty is trusting and believing in yourself enough to try something new, because that paradigm is as deep as the Grand Canyon. That thought, foundational thought that's been running through your head of disbelief, of not enough confidence, of doubt, of fear, of scarcity, of lack. And it may not be in every area. You might be wealthy already, but you're like, my relationship sucks. I still fear losing my money. What is wrong with me? Or you might not have any money yet. Now, the coaching call is free. It's not going to cost you a damn thing. But I'll tell you one thing. It will possibly cost you a difference in 2025 and beyond if you don't do it. Everything that you do in life has a cost to it. And not getting through to create the results and desires and the dreams that you really want has a cost to it too. But you're going to spend the time anyhow. You may as well spend the time to become your greatest self, create a vibration, a frequency of that version of you that can burst through walls and create anything in your life. Stop dicking around with things that you're doing in life, watching television constantly every day, hanging out with people that are negative, drinking, smoking, I don't know what it is. That's not giving you a change in your life. But all of us often need that helping hand up to the top of the ridge. Sometimes we slip, sometimes we fall. So I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for being here. And I want to leave you with one last assignment to start to make a change in your life. And that change is going to be with an affirmation. And we spoke about affirmations a little bit, but I want to give you a specific direction to utilize one of those great capabilities to change the habits in your life with the action of doing something else and creating an affirmation around it. So today, as you brush your teeth, I want you to say this affirmation. I am healthy and abundant. I am free and filled with joy. I am excited for growth and consistently grow. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Everything in my life is abundant, and I'm creating results with everything that I do better than I thought. Now, we will email you that affirmation, and it will be in your inbox within 24 hours. Now, if you would like to have that affirmation, be sure to either go back to this replay or register for Awaken Your Abundance with my LinkedIn or at ejcolclaw.com. And I can't wait to see you on the Q&A. It's going to be incredible. At 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday, we're going to answer the questions that will help you to break free from mediocrity. As always, in order to brighten your light, you need to brighten somebody else's light first. Take care, guys. Have a beautiful day.